Oh no. We're on the side of the road.
I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
This is usually fairly frightening.
I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
So Saturday, I want to be driving this car. Friday, I get my clutch master, so I can install that, then I have a clutch. I've got to do the vacuum lines for my wastegate. I need to tie everything together. I need my intake on, I need to get coolant in it. I have lots and lots of little things to do. I don't have any tranny fluid in it yet. No wheels on it, no fenders, no hood, no bumper. So I've got lots to do. I'm just gonna start giving her. I got a turbo net now, so that's one thing checked off my list. I'm just pulling my daily around the shop, and I'm going to take out the battery tray and the ECU again, and then I'm gonna drive my truck home tonight and go pick up my car, which is the twin engine MX-3, and bring it back to my shop so I can steal the wheels off of it tomorrow. So tomorrow's a big day, and I'm waiting on my clutch master, so I don't know how I'm gonna get it and if I'm gonna have enough time to do it, but basically I need to do the gauge pillar, I need to do my fan switch, I need to get everything ready. I haven't even driven the red one at all. So my plan is to get everything done so the car's drivable. The only thing that's stopping me from driving the car is the clutch master cylinder, because I can't disengage the clutch, obviously. It's not a big deal, but the deal is that I'm waiting for it. It's supposed to come in tomorrow, so for me to get it, I have to go back home and then back. So that's like an hour of my time just to go and get it. So I'm just praying that I can finish this, because I really want to drive it Saturday. Sweet, I got the ECU and fuel pump relay in my hands. I just pulled them out of my daily that's outside, and I got the battery. So the reason why you probably didn't see me put them back into the purple or the blue one, but the reason why I did that is because I don't have enough parts to have 3 cars running at the exact same time, especially with one with 2 engines. So I have to pull things apart sometimes and change this, change that. You say, oh, why don't you get more parts, whatever. Number one, I can only drive one at a time. And number two, I'm on a budget, man. Like, give me a break. I'm just trying to save some money and have 3 cars that I can enjoy, you know? So I can just flip flop back and forth, not a big deal. So it is a pain in the ass, 100%, but you gotta do what you gotta do, right? I just got the wiring harness plugged into my ECU. So that's all good. The car should run. Also, the vacuum line's hooked up. So now I'm gonna go underneath just in case and see if there's anything I missed before I put the car on the ground, because it's a lot easier to work in on the ground. I don't think I missed anything. I'm just gonna check and see if my tranny plugs in. It is. It looks like it's leaking for some reason. I'm gonna check that out real quick. I'm glad I checked it, because it's literally finger loose. That's why there was a leak. There must have been a little bit of fluid in the tranny. There's obviously none in it, but yeah, I'm gonna tighten that up. I won't know that until I have my computer hooked up to my laptop, and then basically I just look at my temp sensor on my computer, and okay, if the frickin' engine says it's at 180 and it's cold, it's not right. So because these run at 180, 190, so you gotta, it's easy to tell when it's accurate. I can show you that later too. But I'm just gonna wire this guy in down to the guy down there, because I know he's wrong, because I've already tested it and made sure it worked when it was connected, and it didn't when it wasn't, so obviously it needs connected. Okay, that's what I'm trying to connect this wire to. So this wire is supposed to go there, down to that tab. And I found a connector that is female, which is right here. So that should just plug right in on there. So I'm gonna cut this wire right here and then wire this in, and then I should have my gauge back. Every coolant neck is different on different engines, so the sensors vary and all that. So if you wanted to keep it as you had it originally, you would take your coolant neck from the engine you're removing from the engine bay and then putting it onto your new engine. I didn't have an engine in this engine bay because I stole it. So I have to do it the hard way. Just gotta figure out which ones fit where and everything like that. I'm pretty much rewiring it, but not chopping up the harness too much, right? Okay, I just grabbed a wire that I had laying around and hooked up my connector to it so I can pull him off and show you what I did. So I've wired on this female connector and it hooks right up to the factory one. It'll just pop right on. So I needed to make it a little bit longer because the other connector was long. So I'm gonna put him on, then solder it on, and then I can pull it off and tape. Okay, since we've got the soldering gun out, I've got it heating up right now. And in the meantime, while I'm waiting for it to heat up so I can do my temp sensor, I'm gonna go back underneath the dash here and I am going to wire my wideband to my ECU. So this white wire that you see here that I've already ran underneath, he's right here. So he's gonna have to go to the black wire on my ECU, which is here somewhere. I'm gonna have to get my head up and get it. So the red one is for the two-step. This guy's red one's for two-step, which goes to my clutch, and this one is for my wideband. So I've got to hook my white wire up to here and have it in a way that it's not going to get tangled with my foot pedals. Obviously, I'm just going to get right to it. Okay, so since I have those two wires that I need to connect to my ECU, I decided I'm going to make a plug so everything's easier. I can unplug it and I don't have to cut wires every time I need to take the ECU out. So I'm making a plug right now. I have a kit that has everything in here. So the female gets the long pieces and the male gets the other butt end ones, believe it or not. So I'm gonna just wire that up real quick. After you have your wire on your male piece, you have to shove it into this connector and then you have to pull it through here. So I just got needle nose pliers here and I'm gonna shove them inside, clip the thing that's pointing out and pull just lightly. Oops, I think I got it though. Again, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna put my wire into this male piece, just like so. The wire will slide right into the male, right there. Then it needs crimped, and then the back needs crimped as well. And that's done. I just need to clip off this little piece right here for fitment issues later into the connector. I always just clip that and then snip. So now that'll fit. And I'm just gonna put it in just like the other one. And it's gotta just be fed through carefully, and then you should be good. Now I'm going to pull it through with the pliers, needle nose. There, do you see that click? Perfect. Again, I'll show you. I'm just putting this piece in, crimping. Not with the right tool, of course, because I'm on camera. I have a bad habit of grabbing whatever's there when I'm behind the camera. But yeah, anything works really, but. Okay, so what you're looking for is seeing the steel pieces or whatever they're made out of poking out of there, and then all you gotta do is push down on here and they'll click in. And there we have it. 20 minutes later and we got a connector. Okay, I'm back here under the dash. Red goes to white and black goes to the clutch. Remember? So I'm just gonna do that real quick. Okay, I got my wiring done to my ECU other than the clutch to this connector. So the reason why I made red for the two-step and black for the wideband is red is when you're two-stepping, most of the time flames comes out of your exhaust. So it's easy to remember, red. Red is for flames, means two-step. So every time I do anything on my car and there's two wires coming out of my ECU or more, the red one I know is two-step and the black one I know is wideband. It's just what I do on all my cars and it's easy to remember. I don't have to look in any things that I've written down before, whatever. I just know all on the top of my head. Just keep it stupid simple, you know? Okay, I got the connector wired in. So there's the red and the black to the ECU. So that one goes to the white one, which goes to my wideband. Correct? Correct. So now I've got this wire that I have to wire to my clutch. And when I say clutch, I mean my clutch pedal. So I need to send a signal to my ECU that tells the ECU the clutch is pressed in. So that is giving a signal for the two-step. So when the clutch is in, that's the only time it's working for the two-step. And the way you do that is you cut the two wires at the top of the clutch. There's a switch. You cut both the wires, wire one to a ground on the body, and then wire one to the ECU, which is the black wire. So what it does is it sends a ground signal to the ECU. So it's just a switch ground. And when it's depressed, so when the ground is disconnected, it tells the computer, okay, it's time to spool up the turbo and do two-step flamey boy shit, you know what I'm saying? So I'm back under here, all crammed. So there is the top sensor. I'm going to cut right here. One goes to the body and one goes to the ECU. Simple. Okay, I've got my two wires wired up on my clutch switch. One goes to the ECU and one goes to the body. So I ran out the one to here so I can later on ground it to the steering column right here with all my other ground. I'm back here at my temperature sensor. So now I'm gonna take it off and solder it because I obviously got a hot gun here. So I'm just gonna solder it up and this will be done as well. That stuff's all done and tucked away, zip tied, ready to go. So that's it for the wiring for today. I'm just going to continue on tomorrow because I have my button for my fans. So I'm gonna wire that in and then I can ground the wideband, the clutch, and the fans. And then I should be done. Now I'm going to run the vacuum lines to my wastegate. Technically, you only need one ran, and it's the bottom one. There's a bottom one, and then there's a top one. Bottom one, top one. Bottom one's the one you run to your intake. So you need to run it to your intake somewhere, and I usually run it to this guy. So I have one ran to my fuel regulator, and I just usually cut this, add a T, and run it to my wastegate. Alright, I got the engine running and I am going to add my coolant. I've got it about halfway full now, so I'm going to continue and add more. I've got my funnel there and I'm just going to add some water. Holy shit, this is leaking bad. I'm going to show you that the temp sensor is working. So see how it's all the way at the bottom. As it warms up, it will go up, and I will check back in here. I've already added a full thing of coolant, which is concentrated, so it's always good to have a funnel that fits good into your fill up. So then air can come out and water can go in. It's obviously best to have a proper tool, but this method works too. This thing's running awesome. honestly can't believe how quiet that little muffler makes this car. Like, I can talk normally, it's like not loud at all. It's awesome. That took a long time to get up to temp, but she's up to temp. Sorry about the steam. I got water everywhere and coolant, all that good stuff, but yeah. Took forever to get up to temp since it's such a small displacement engine. I've even got it idling at 1500 RPM right now. But yeah, she's up to temp now and the thermostat is open. So I've capped that. I'll let it cycle for a while. I don't have the fans right now, so once it starts to get like really, really hot, I'll kill it. And then tomorrow, before I start working on it, I can then top off the coolant and then run it again. Do that every day until I drive it, so I get all the air out. That's the easiest way to do it. So yeah, she's just chilling at about half, which is operating temp. So yeah, perfect. Just gotta let the air get out, right? The way you know when the thermostat open is when your rad starts getting hot and your hoses start getting hot. That also means your water pump is working. Okay, in the meantime, while I've got it running, I'm gonna throw my fender on. She's going back together, guys. This is badass.
I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
This is usually fairly frightening.
I'm gonna make something great.